Okay, so yesterday we learned all the possibilities and the conditions related to switch, how to deal with switch. Now, one example we will see how to manage the switch selector and how to work with it. Right. One example we will try to design by using switch selector. Let's see. For that, I will copy some images. Actually, we saw how to handle data by using API. Now we will use some hard-coded data. I will add a new file, switch demo.html. HTML. Okay. Already there. Switch shopping API, shopping switch. Okay. Now in this, we will include some details. Doc type, HTML, head, title, and we will say some shopping. And link relation style sheet. href is node modules, bootstrap icons, and one more link relation style sheet. href is node modules, bootstrap CSS. Okay. Now in the body section, we will put script source. We will get it from jQuery, jQuery.js, and we will put bootstrap bundle also. Node modules, bootstrap, dist.js, bundle.js. Now inside this body section, we will design a div. Let's keep this container fluid. And this div above, we will have a header. Some heading I given, some Amazon shopping, something like this. Now here we have span class BI and BI cart. Now below this, we will put class row, class some BG danger, text center, and text white. Text white. Okay. And put a padding 2. Fine. Now in this row, I am defining 3 columns. One is call 3, and next is class some call 6 or okay, and class as call 3. Fine. Now what we want to do here is, in this design, we want to add the functionality here. Left side, we will create a menu. That means here we will put a div. The row I will move margin top 2 or 3. Yeah. Here we will have a class. This is class margin top 2, and label is class form label. And in this we have select a category. Now div and we will put a select and a class as form select, ID as LST categories. Okay. Now we will create another div. So the class as margin top 2 and label class as form label and select a product. Now div, and we will put a select here and a class as form select and ID as LST products. LST products. Okay. Below this, we will have another div class margin top. So 2. And here we will have a label as preview and class form label, and in the div we will put here so class as card. Okay, we have a div class card header, and here we will put a heading ID as LBL name. Okay. Below this, we have a class card body and image. Image I will keep empty, ID as IMG product. Okay. Width is 200 and height 200. Card header and all I will put text center. Card body also text center. And one more is card footer, and here we will put so the button span class BI and BI, that is cart 4. Okay, and we'll put add to cart. This button have class BTN and BTN danger and W100. This is the design at the left side. Now we want the drop down like a cascading drop down. Cascading drop down means when user selects a category, the category related products must come. So, and that should change according to which category user selected. And when user selects a product, the product detail should come. And user must able to add that into the cart. So in the right panel here, I will display div class as margin top 2. And here, so I will define so label, and in the label class as form label your cart items. Now better I will keep this in a button instead of label. Let's keep in a button. So that is here in the button I will put a label ID as LBL cart. Okay, and here class as nothing, class not required, just label empty, and I will put here the text as your cart items. And here this label will be in a square brace, and above we will put a cart BI and BI cart 2 something, and button class BTN and BTN warning. Okay, warning, fine. Now this is right side, your cart items, this option is there. Now I will keep this as 7. I will keep this as 2. That's shorter is enough, right? Now what we want here is this button also W100. Okay. Now what we want here is when user adds that, and it should display here right side. And when user clicks on your cart items, that data should display in a model. We want to display that in a model. That's the basic design. Here, this we already done with API. In API, we have ready-made filters. Due to that, it's easy because you saw the API data when we accessed and used. It has fake store API is having product ID, product category, separate data APIs are available. You see, so here we have a fake store API. In this already there are APIs for filtering and displaying the data. So this API provides all categories, and this API provides only specific product, and this API provides the product category related all products like that. Due to that, what happens is because already they done querying, filtering, and they kept separate APIs for us. It's easy, just use that API. But if we have to do manually all this, then we need to implement all the knowledge of arrays, the switch conditions, iterations, all this manually we have to do. For that reason, I am designing this to understand how we write the queries manually. So switches, if conditions, how to use them. Let's see here, and array methods, how to handle. So currently we will use our own data here in this example. So let's go, and here first we will put some public images. So we will put some images here. Already some neckband, mobile is there. Some other categories related images we will use. So we have like shoe. Okay. This is image. Okay. These two I am adding. This is related to footwear. Okay. And one more is we'll put some other footwear like fashion here. Let's access this and see. Yes, the fashion. Yeah, fake store API. In this, some images are there. We will pick up them. That means this is product categories. And this is some men's clothing. So them backpack. So I will just put this image URL to pick that image. I will save this, save image. So backpack, and we will put in our location. This is related to some fashion or something like this. Okay. In our project, yeah, in public images we are keeping this. That is one API, and another is there, suppose 3 cotton jacket. Copy, and this image also we will copy, save image as. Okay, fine. These two are there. Now let's close this. Go here now. We have some images also, and image extensions are important. These are JPG files. I have mobile and neckband. These are PNG files. Okay. Let's go to the script now. In the script, so we are defining categories. It's an array. Here in the categories, we will define first select a category. Next, we have so electronics and footwear and some fashion. These are the categories we are having. Now, I want these categories to be loaded into this drop down. Dynamically, we want to add everything. So we will write body on load, body load. Here we will put function body load. On body load, we have to load all the categories. That is only one time. We don't repeat it. So directly I will write on body load. So what we do for var item of categories, for every item, we need to create an option now because we need to add into drop down. Then we have to create an option document dot create element option. Okay. And this option dot value will be item and option dot text also will be item. Then add this into document get element by ID LST categories. LST categories dot append child. Add that option into LST categories. And you can see it contains that list of categories here. So first we have select a category and we have electronics. So we have footwear and fashion. Now when user selects any category, the category related products list should come. That means every category contains some products, that products list should come. So we have to maintain another collection. This is products. So here, very important, these products depending on which category you selected. That means 3 category products will be there. So I have to maintain one is electronics array. In this electronics array, I am having electronic products related information like mobile and I have some neckband. This array we are maintaining, we are configuring and maintaining. Now after this, now we have another and one more we will put here. We will put a option like so select electronic product like this. Select any electronic product. That is the first option to display. And next we have another array. So this is for footwear. For footwear, we have some like select footwear. And here we have like Nike casuals and some Lee Cooper boot something. Okay, next we have another fashion. And in this we have select fashion wear or select fashion here. And here we have some backpack and we have some cotton jacket. Okay, like this. So this is option men's. Yeah, that's the basic thing we defined in the list. Fine. Now what should happen is these products must be displayed in the second drop down. That means we have three categories to display, but which one to display, that is decided by the above drop down. That means when you change above drop down, that category related products must come here. This is called as cascading drop down. That means when you go to any interviews as web developer, if anybody asked you like create one cascading drop down, it's a very regular thing. Generally, almost several interviews for freshers, they ask like create cascading drop down for 5-7 list. And that is very important. That is very good to ask to freshers, because there we can understand his logical skills of multi-levels hierarchy. Because creating a lengthy cascading drop down is little confusion for fresher level, but it is easy if you have a good idea on how to write the logic. It's a very common thing actually. Cascading drop downs and dynamic tables, these type of tasks are very commonly given in interviews. So now the point is, here you will see in real time everywhere. For example, you see that I will give you as a task. Suppose this is movie website. So this is some Inox movies. You see these are all cascading drop downs. So select a movie. Remember, cinema depends on movie. That means you select a movie, that movie related cinema will open. When you select a cinema, so the cinema related dates will open. And very important, so that will be changing according to the movie or according to the cinema. And when you select date, timings will change according to it. When you select a timing, that's fine. Now seats is independent. Here 4 level cascading is there. Timing depends on date, date depends on theater, theater depends on cinema. There are so many levels here. This is cascading, and simply they say that design this. Don't think it is easy. That means logically little bit brain you have to put, and you can do it. It's very easy if you understood the multi-level hierarchy of switch statements and conditions. That's very easy. If you are not aware of conditions and switch, it feel like very complex. That's very common. Cascading drop downs are very common. They ask select your country. Based on country, cities will come. Select your city. Based on cities, area will come. That very common in websites. So here the point is, out of these three, which one should display inside LST products? That is important. So what we will do now, first here, we will create an array called var products array. This is empty array. And I will create a function called load products. This load products function should load all the products into second drop down. So for var item of products, and it should load into that var option is equal to document create element option, and option dot text is equal to item, and option dot value is equal to item. And here we have to access document get element by ID. What is it? LST products dot append child, and we need to add that option. Okay, but products is empty, nothing is there. That means why you are iterating over an empty array and loading? Nothing will load, it's empty. So we will decide that. So initially load products is loading all the products, but while loading, if already some products are there, it should clean up. So better what you do, document get element by id lst products.inner html. I will keep it empty so that I will clean the list before adding any list. Otherwise the new list will be added to existing list. We don't want that. Okay, so load products is ready. Okay, now we have to identify which category they selected when they are changing the category. That means for LST categories, we have to write an event on change. On change is category changed. Okay. We will call that function here. So function category changed. When category changed, we have to first get the category name. You can get the category name document get element by id lst categories dot value will return the category name. After accessing the category name, it can be electronics, it can be footwear, or it can be fashion. We will use a switch. Into that we will pass the category name. Now switch have cases. The case one case is, the first case is if it is electronics, what should happen? If it is case is electronics, then what should happen? That means I need to put the products is equal to electronics. That means this products array is an empty array. Into that these electronic products are loaded. Those electronic products are loaded into this empty array. And after assigning these electronics into empty array, this contains electronic products which we want to load into second drop down, that is done by load products. So after assigning, then load products, that's it, then break. Now if the case is footwear, then products is equal to footwear and load products and break. And if case is fashion, then products is equal to fashion and load products. Every time we need to load the fresh list and break. And if it is default, that means they haven't selected any category, then in the products I will put an option select, please select a category. We will say please select a category and load products and break. Like this we defined the case. Yesterday we learned various forms of switch cases, then we are configuring that and defining. This is not required if your API is having good query already built for it. We haven't done this in our previous example when we worked with API, because they already done this query in the backend. In the backend, they have database and API. There they written such queries already. And they made a simple URL for us, right? /electronics, all electronics, /jewelry, all jewelry. Due to that, you were not aware of using this switch in that level. If now data comes from our own side like this, then we have to use these kind of techniques now. Now you see here, so what should happen now? When I select a category called electronics, then electronic product will come. In the second drop down, we have mobile neckband. And when I select footwear, the footwear products will come, the Nike and Lee boot. And when I select the fashion, then it says fashion will come, backpack and cotton jacket. And I select first one, select a category. It says, please select a category. Nothing is there. That means until or unless you select a category, nothing will come here. So that is the basic cascading. That means the second drop down depends on this. Now, when I select a product, the product detail should come, and that you have to maintain. That means product name, product image, product price, product related information you have to maintain. So that means now you need another data, because remember, this is all our hard coded data. So generally in future, this all data we will maintain in a database, and then it looks little simple. Why? Because data is not here. But from database through server side technology using Node.js, we will learn how to create our own APIs, pull the data and present it. As of now, we have to create our own data. So we will create data. It is an array, and array of objects which contains all the data. So that means it contains name. Name is suppose mobile, and some mobile, some Samsung mobile. Okay, and here we have price, and some price, and we have photo, and the photo is dot dot slash public slash images slash mobile dot png, like this. This is the information about the product. So like this, all products information we have to maintain related to all the categories. That means now next is so we have some say boat neckband, something like this, neckband. Okay, neckband, fine. And here we have the price, so defined, and here we have the image, some neckband dot png, and here we have some Nike casuals. Here we have some Lee Cooper boot, something, and here we have some backpack, some pack, and here we have some so men's so cotton jacket. Okay, and here we have some, that's it. This last one is not required, fine. Now these are enough, and we need to change the price and define them. This is some 6, so this is some 3, and this is some 2, and this is some, right, like this. Now we have some images also changed here, and these two are fine. So this contains some shoe.jpg in that location. We have like shoe1.jpg in that location, and we have the backpack.jpg, and one more we are having is jacket.jpg. Okay, now what should happen is, when user is selecting the product, that means on this product change, so we have to write an event on change. On change, this is product changed. When product is changed, I have to write a function here, function product change. Now I need to get the product name. What is the product? Document get element by id lst products dot value. It will get the product name. I need to search for this product inside data and get that product information. That means I will create a global array searched product. It is an empty object. It is an empty object. So now what that searched product should contain? Searched product, we have to search for the product name in this data. You see, data is an array. In this data, we have to search for the product they selected. That means here, remember, you have to use the same name. Here, what is the name? It is Samsung mobile. And what is the this one? It is like boat neck band. So we have to use the same thing. Okay. Now, others are same, right? So how you configured. So here I will say men's cotton jacket like this. Okay. Now you see here, now in this, how we can search in this. We already learned. So we have to use data dot find method, because it's an array and you have to search for a specific product that is matching with the name. That means now what we have to do is we have to write a callback function. This callback function will get every product. Okay. And what it should return. So what it should return, that means it should return the product dot name is matching is the product name you have entered. That means you selected a product name from list. That means what it will do, it will go into this array and it will find whether that name product is available or not. If it is available, then it will store that inside this. We already learned array methods like find and filter. So find is searching for specific record and find the record first occurrence and return it. So what is the result of this find method? Object. What will be the result of filter method? Filter method will return multiple. That means the result of filter method will be an array. We know that it is an object, so we are writing this searched product as an object because we know that it is an object coming. Okay, now this searched product must be displayed in our details. So document dot get element by ID, get element by ID. So LBL name dot inner HTML. So here searched product dot name, we have to assign it. Actually LBL name is nothing but this in the card header. This is LBL name. And what we will do is below that, below the product, I will put a paragraph ID as LBL price. Okay, so in that we want to display the price. Document dot get element by ID LBL price dot inner HTML is equal to searched product dot price. Document get element by ID img product dot src, because it's an image, searched product dot photo, that is the field. So this is on product changed. Product changed will fire up whenever you change the product. So that means now I select a category electronics and I select a product neckband. It should get that and display. So it is accessing that and display. I selected here some Samsung mobile. It should display. I am changing the category as footwear and select Nike casuals. And I select Lee Cooper boot and I change here fashion and I select backpack and I select here cotton jacket. It displays that. Now, after selecting, when I click on add cart, it should be added into shopping cart and it should show right side that it is added. How many items are there in the cart? Okay, let's do that now. So what we have to do now, extra work is on this button click, right? So on this add to cart click, on click is equal to add to cart click. Okay. So we will write a function here. So the function is add to cart click. I have to add this searched product. This searched product is declared as a global variable. Why I declared global variable? Because I know that I have to access it later in somewhere else. So if I have written this variable directly inside it, it works. But later, if I want to access outside, it will not work. That's the reason I made it as a global variable. Now, what happens here is when you click, I will declare another cart items. Cart items is an empty array. It's an empty array. When user clicks add to cart, the searched product must be added into cart items array. That means cart items dot push. How to add items dynamically we learned. So push, or you can use unshift. Unshift or push. Push which one? Searched product must be pushed into it. And we will put an alert. Alert saying that. So alert, in the alert we will say here searched product dot name and added to cart. That's name and added to cart. This message we will display. After adding that into the cart, I need to show the count of cart items. So there is a label called here, there is a label called LBL cart. So what we will do now here, we will write a function. The function is, so get cart items count. And what it should do is document dot get element by ID LBL cart dot inner HTML. It should display here. We will declare a variable where count is initially 0. It should display that count, right? It should display that count, and that count is initially 0. Nothing is there inside it, empty. Now I will get cart items count. Get cart items count on body load. On body load, I will call that function get cart items count. Because functions will support hoisting mechanism, you can write bottom, you can call top, it doesn't matter. Anywhere it will work. Now you see on the body load, you see it says 0. The count for the cart items, it says 0. 0 is there. That's fine. Now what should happen when user clicks add to cart? After showing this alert, again the count should be updated. Then it should add that and display. Actually, this count you can update manually, or you can do one thing. Instead of doing this, means instead of accessing the count or keeping this, what you can do is simply you can put cart items dot length. That is better. Cart items dot length is what? 0. It returns that 0. That is same. What is advantage now is I can just call that here get cart items count. That means the length will be updated when you push a value. And after updating the length, then you are calling that and displaying. It will update into that location. Now it's done. Now let's check here. Currently 0 items in the cart. So I will select here a fashion, some product, and after that I will click add to cart. And when I click add to cart, men's cotton jacket added to cart. Okay, now the count is 1 here. That means now the button shows that you have 1 product in the cart. Now the point is when user selects another item here, some footwear, some item here, add to cart, Nike casuals added to cart, then 2 items in the cart. Now we know what to do. On that click, those cart items must display, right? Let's do that. So that is again big work, right? Here what we have to do on this button, right? In this button, we will write a div. We will put a class as model, yeah, fade, okay, yeah. And ID as cart, okay. and div and the class as model content, and div the class, yeah, div the class as model header, and here we will put a heading like your cart items, and put a button here. So the class btn close, and data bs dismiss dismiss data bs dismiss should be model, right? Now one more is there in the body. So div class as model body, yeah, in the model body we want to display a table that contains all the data, class table and table hover, okay. And in this I want to just put a t header, tr th. Here we have name, we will have a price, and we will have preview of the product, and we will design t body, and in that we need to generate all the data, and this is table body. So div, and we have class as model footer, and just we will put a button as, so class btn and btn primary, and okay. And here we will put, so data bs dismiss is equal to model, okay. And this model should fire up when user clicks on this button. So data bs target is equal to cart, and the data bs toggle is equal to model, okay. Now it is ready, but it is displayed, okay, okay. But the data inside it should be manipulated when user clicks this button. That means we have to write a click event also for this. That means on this button click, that is show cart your cart items button click. So on click we have to say load cart items. Load cart items must load the cart items into this table body. So you know that what to do now. So let's go into this logic. So, and we write a function load cart items. What we have to do for where item of cart items is an array. In the cart item array, only selected cart items will be available. So we have to do lot of work here. We need to create a row, document dot create element row, and we need to create a cell for name, document dot create element td. We need to create a cell for price, document dot create element, this is also td. We need to create a cell for photo, that is document dot create element, this also td, okay. The td name dot inner html, it should contain item name. td price dot inner html, it should contain item price. These two are okay, but the photo should contain an image, where image is equal to document create element image, and image dot height is equal to some 50. So image dot width is equal to 50, and image dot src is equal to, it is from item dot photo. Now we need to add these all image to the cell td photo dot append child img, okay. Now all the cells must be added into row tr dot append child td name, then tr tr dot append child td price and tr dot append child td photo, and document dot query selector t body dot append child into the tr. Everything ready. So this is what we are adding into the table. Load cart items must be defined, and that's ready. Let's run this and see now. Select a category, some footwear, and add to cart. It's added. Okay, I selected some fashion, add to cart. That's added. But one problem will come. Cart items, you see it is added successful. Suppose you are adding multiple. If it is repeating, you know what to do now. Cart items, you see it repeats. It should not repeat. You know already what to do that for that. So what to do for this? Whenever you are loading these items, so document dot query selector t body dot inner html, keep it empty. That is the first thing you have to do. Electronics, so add, that's added. Now you can see it is there. Okay, and fashion, we selected some fashion and add, that's also added. Now it will be better. That means it will display only what you have selected here and configure. Add to cart and it will display. This is the option. Now important is, so this here our intention is to understand arrays, switch cases, how to write the conditions, filtering, loading, everything manually do. This becomes easy if your data is in API. Now in this I am giving you a task you have to do. In this, what you have to do is, the task for you in this example is, now I want you to design, so design total, and that should calculate the total amount of this price and display here. That you have to do. That means you need to calculate the total amount of all items in the cart. In the cart, how many items are there? For those items, price total you have to do and display there. That means what is the total cart? Not only that, one more thing you have to do. One more thing, what you have to do here is, in this, how to remove item later we will learn, because to remove item you have to learn event driven architecture. You have to learn event related things in depth. Currently we haven't touched any events. We are just after all using events occasionally, like on click, on change. Still you don't know what is an event correctly. We are using on click, do this, on click, do that, but we don't know perfectly about everything about event, because it's a very big concept. And once you learn about event and event handling, then you can do more complex things. So that is the reason. So removing items, we will see later how we can remove the item and configure that. The point here is, in this, the major point here is, for example, it's not a difficult thing you can handle, but little complex if you don't know events. The point here is, one more work you have to do here is, in this particular products, you have to choose, you have to define here, you have to define an option. So you have to put a box. This is the price it is showing and the product it is showing. You put anywhere inside this area, you put anywhere. So an option like quantity, and you have to put a number up down control, where user can select, enter a number, quantity to something like this. Now, after selecting this, and when user clicks this add to cart, when user clicks add to cart and it is in the shopping cart, what I want here is here extra I have to display one more column I want to display, or here I want to display a column called quantity. And for that item, how much quantity they selected, it should display like this. For that item, how much quantity they selected, it should display like this too. And now total amount must be, you know what to do. Total amount must be this price into 2. After calculating that, final total amount must be here of all these details. Understood? Now this is your task. And if you can do this, I will guarantee that you will get a job. That you will get a job, you can crack any UI interview. Sure. Right? That means nothing else you should know. This is enough. This is enough means doesn't mean that don't come from next day onwards. Right? That means this brain is enough for handling such UI level interviews and cracking them. Right? Now you try this. If you can do this, that's great. Not just good, it's great. So one more extra work we have to do here is removing, and very important is this total should update. That means this total should update. Total should update. Total should update. So when I add one more product, the total should update automatically. Total should update depending on quantity and price. How many quantity, price, and final total amount. And if you can give the quantity of the product not in the image, means near the image, if you can give the quantity of the product to select here itself, that means if you give in this how much quantity they can select, if you give a choice here, means put an up down arrow there in the shopping cart itself inside the table, that's more great. That depends on your, that means if you can do that, that's very good. That's very good. But if you are changing that quantity here, it should update, na? Because when you are changing the quantity anywhere, it should update here. While changing itself, it should update if you put there. First try this. First try this. Then you can try more complex things about this. Now, for example, how we can achieve the concept of this is your task, you have to do this. Right? Now, the point here is how we can remove the items from the cart. Actually, removing items from an array already we discussed. Overview I will tell here. See. So this is the table, and in the table, everything you are generating manually. Where is the table? This is the table you are generating manually. So what we do here is we will add one more cell. That means where td remove. So remove is equal to document.create element td. Okay. Now what should happen is in this td after photo, td remove dot inner HTML. Inside it, we will put an expression here. We will put a button. We will put a button. And in this button, we will put as so a span. And this span will have a class. So BI and BI trash. Trash, I have defined trash. Trash fill or something like this you define. And this button is having a class as btn outline danger. Okay, outline danger I am giving here. This is the inner HTML which is having inside that remove, and I will add that here. So that means that is the button we configured. Now what should happen here is, so tr dot append child. So TD remove also must be added into this. Extra, we are adding that cell. We don't have a heading for that. So we don't have any heading for that. We just added it. So let's see now. I am selecting a product here and add to cart. It's added. I am selecting another product and add to cart. That's added. And you see the remove button will come. On this button click, I must able to remove that product from the cart. That means on this button click, how you will remove this item? How you will identify that item? How to identify that item? That means actually, so that is the key concept actual. Suppose on this button click, that means this is the table. Yeah. On this click, how you will identify which item they clicked? Which item they clicked? So for every item, there must be some unique reference. There must be some unique reference for every item. There are so many techniques I will tell you here. That means what we have to do is, so if user clicks on, when user clicks on this delete, we have to send information about this product to this button. Information about that product to that button, and to remove it from the cart items, we have to know at which index it is present. Because how you remove from cart array, we need index number. You remembered we learned splice method. By using splice method, we can remove. So now what should happen here is when user clicks on this, we should identify its reference. We identify its index number. That's important actually. Suppose we are sending this product related information. See, we are writing on click inside the button. On click is equal to, I am defining the name as remove click. Into the remove click, I will pass here the item. Into remove click, I am passing item dot name. I am passing that item name into the remove click. That means when you handle that remove click, so then now let's write a function for that. Anywhere at the bottom, right? So we will write a function. What is it? Remove click. It is expecting item dot name, means it's a string. That means we will say product name. Okay, that is the parameter. That means remove click is expecting the product name. It is sending the product name there. Now we will put in simple alert temporarily to show you whether it is working or not. Product name is coming here or not, we will put an alert. So see, I will select here electronics, Samsung, add to cart. I will select here neckband, add to cart. And when I click remove, then it should show that option there. Now here on the remove click, so on the remove click, you see in the inspect here, on the console, you see there is an option. So on click not defined for that button. So here, where is the button configured? Where is this? Yeah, this is on click. What is the option configured for that? Remove click. In the remove click, we are sending that particular value. That means on click of this particular button, that is the remove button, you see we are writing the function same, remove click, and into that we are passing the product name. But what is the point? It is saying that when you click on this, it is saying that I am unable to handle the click event for that button. That means add to cart. It is saying that, observe here, when I click remove, so it says that item is not defined. item is not defined. So what item not defined? Actually it says that, so this item name is not defined, that means it is not sent. Why it is not sent? Because you are writing an expression, na? Here we are configuring an expression. In an expression, how do we define the dynamic value? You have to put the dynamic value with a dollar, am I right? Then it will send the dynamic value item name. Now see here, I am selecting an option here, I am choosing a category here and add to cart here and click on that item and click on that delete. So now you see here, inspect, you see the point here, console. Yeah, it says that missing argument after list. That means which argument is missing here? Where it is, line number. Yeah, you see here, this is item list, that's fine. Now the point here is remove click is a function. If I don't pass anything into this remove click, observe, and here we are just expecting some empty, and here I will put an alert. What is the alert? Simple, I say remove click, clicked. Okay, yes. Now you see here, I am defining the data, electronics, some product, and add to cart. It will get into this. Now I click on remove, it's working. Function is working. What is the problem here is sending the information of this product into that method. That is why we have to learn about event arguments. Actually, to send information about any element or send information about any content through the functions, usually we need a approach called, that means we need event arguments, we call event, and we have this. These two are called event arguments. Currently we haven't learned anything about that. Actually what event will do, it will send event related information and this will send object related information. So we don't know this. That is the reason we will not touch this point now. That means, so when we learn about events, you will learn how to send the information into that location. Event handling is a big concept. So once you know how to handle the events, event handling, passing the data from event to that function, collecting the data in the function, then you can manage this functionality. That's the reason. So removing items from the cart, that we will see in next level. We will see in the next level once we are clear about the concept of event, when we know about the event. As of now, ignore it. We don't need that. So what your task is to do is, your task is to perform the total. You have to calculate the total of cart items and put quantity. This quantity should be updated in the cart. So, and it should display there. Before that price, you put quantity. And finally, total amount also must be displayed. Rest of work later we will do. That means after learning events and some more function statements, we will do that. Because if you learn later functions and all, these queries you can keep simple. That means you don't need to write this much lengthy queries. We can keep queries simple once you learn the functions, statements, and events related concept. Actually, what we do is find method. I am writing like this, na? Generally, we write find method like this: data dot find, and the product implies the product dot name is matching with the product name. This is how we write actually. This makes your logic and everything simplified. These kind of things you will come across now. So once you learn other options in statements, then you can reduce this logic and you can make it simple. So as of now, this is confusion for you because you haven't learned. You see product, category, and add, everything is working same, no change. I just changed this into a simple approach, and such things you will learn in the next levels. Then you can complete this in a simple approach, right? This entire task you can do in a simple way. But as of now, you write the way that you know and you learned up to now. So here generally how we do, we write a callback function. In that callback function, we have a product, and what it should do, it should return product dot name is equal product name. That is the current approach. I will copy this and I will give you this example so you can try that, right? So this is the example for handling switch and cascading, right? And cascading what? Drop down. This is the cascading of drop down. This is one example for cascading drop down. This is all about the conditional statements. So what are the conditional statements we have learned? So if, else, switch, case, and default. These all comes under the category of conditional statements. Next important in the statements, now we have looping control and iteration. Looping control and iteration statements. The next important category is looping control and iteration statements. How to handle the looping control and iteration statements. Right. So what is the purpose of looping and what is difference between looping and iteration statements? So many categories of statements I told you. We have selection statements, iteration statements, looping statements, jump statements, and all. Looping and iteration difference is actually looping is the process. Looping is the process of executing a set of statements repeatedly until the given condition is satisfied. Actually, looping requires initialization A, initialization B, condition, and C, counter. Initialization, condition, counter. Every looping statement requires initialization, condition, counter. So these days we don't use these looping very much. Almost we ignored. In modern programming, we don't prefer these loops anymore. Why? I will show you. So looping requires initialization, condition, and counter. And loops are created by using for, while, and do while. For, while, do while. These are used for looping. And as I told you that in the modern generation of programming, we don't prefer this much. We don't use loops much. That is time waste and not required also. We have better than loops. So why loops are not great? So we will discuss that. We will see. But what is the purpose of looping statement? Why we need a loop? So see, one simple basic thing I will tell you. Suppose, means to understand the concept why we need a loop. Actually, we have loop and let's say loop HTML. Okay. We have the concept of loop and there is a concept called loop and recursion. Recursion is there, loop is there. What is loop? Why we need? What is recursion? I will show you that. Actually, suppose we have to write a function. I am writing a function f1, and here I am defining var x. That means I need to ask the value for x, and if they enter x value as 5, I need to print the next 5 numbers after it. That means whatever number they may enter, whichever number they enter, I want to print the next 5 numbers after it. If they enter 10, then 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Then tell me, so with general logic, how to handle that? Means no loops, nothing. We should not use any loop. There is recursion technique. I will tell you recursions we will discuss. So without loops, we have to define. Then in general, how do we do that? For example, we will say var some a is equal to x plus 1, var b is equal to a plus 1, var c is equal to b plus 1, and var d is equal to c plus 1, like this. So var e is equal to d plus 1, like this. That means whatever the new number is coming, to that number 1 is added. That means whatever new number is coming, to that a new 1 is added. That means to the new number 1 is added every time. And this work is done how many times? This work is done 5 times. Same type of work you are doing 5 times. Instead of doing that 5 times, you can write 1 time and make it work for 5 times. That means instead of doing that 5 times, you can write once and make it work 5 times. That is the concept of looping. The concept of looping is doing the same, not same work. It is same type of work. That means the point here is I can print all the details, document.write. So I have to print, so the value of a, I have to print value of a. After that, I have to print the value of b. After that, I have to print the value of c. And then I have to print the value of d. And I have to print the value of e. This is printing that value also same. Now, the concept behind this is, that means here we are printing all the numbers that comes after it. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is the approach actually. This is the approach. That means now I need to add +1 to the existing number and store its result in a new reference. And this work I have to do 5 times, 10 times, 100 times. Then instead of doing so many times, you can tell this in a simple way. How you can tell this in a simple way? You can simply say that, so var, you can write like this. For, we can write initializer. Initializer means it will start with var. So what is the value? Some x is starting with how much? 5. It is starting with 5. Okay. After that, what should happen? After starting with 5, so when it should stop? When it should stop? When x less than or equal to 10. When x is less than or equal to 10, then stop. So what it should do after every stop? After every stop, it should, means after finishing, it should increment 1. That means x is equal to x plus 1. That means increase x value by 1 and assign to x. This you can write in a short way, x plus plus na. You can write x equal to x plus 1, or you can simply write x plus plus in a shorter way. That means now what I have to do every time, I have to print the value. That means document dot write the value of what? X with a break, with a break. So now you don't need to do all this. You don't need to do all this. You don't need to do all this. That means it is going to print. That means the value, it is going to print the value like this: 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That means the same work you have done here, but this time you made the loop iterate so many number of times until the condition is satisfied. Without looping also you can handle. You can use recursion techniques. Recursion technique means, I will tell you here. See, I am writing here a function. I am writing a function fact. So fact is factorial. I am writing a function simple fact. Okay. In that we have n. I am writing a condition. If n is equal to 0, then if n is equal to 0, or if n is equal to 1, if n is equal to 1, then we put an option like return. Return means terminate, return. So if n equal to 0, then I will say return 1. Return 1 means it will true, evaluate to true, it will stop. So otherwise what we have to do is we have to return n into, so here fact of n minus 1. I return like this. What is this concept here? You see, because later in functions I will tell you detailedly, we are writing a function called fact, and that fact function is called inside that function again. That means the function is called generally outside, but if you call a function inside the function again, this is called recursion. We call this as function recursion. So that means in interviews, if anybody asks you like what is function recursion, function related so many things will come in interviews. In JavaScript interviews, remember 100% you will face a question called function closures, function recursions, mandatory 100%. UI developer means you can expect that question. What is recursion? What is closures of JavaScript? These are very important actually. Now here we are not using any loop. We are not using any iterating. Recursion technique is nothing but, see, what is the recursion technique? Actually, we call this like a batch programming. We call this as a batch programming. Detail I will tell next level. See here, initially, n value is, suppose I called fact, I said 5. When I said 5, what is n value? N is how much? 5. That means it will not go into if condition because n is not 0. So what it will do? N into means 5 into, right? It is 5 into, again fact minus 1. That means fact of 5 minus 1. 5 minus 1 means how much? 4. Understood? Fact minus 1 means 4. That means 5 fours how much? 20. After 20, this fact is calling this again. Function is called again. When function is called again, that means what will happen now is this function executes again, but this time the fact value will be how much? 4. Will be 4. That means inside the function is called again until it is equal to 0. That means the same function is called again and again within the context. Now see here, I am writing here, the next time it will be 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. That means now here I am printing like this now. So document dot write factorial of 5. So, and here we are accessing So fact of 5. We are accessing fact of 5 and defining it displays 120. So that means the 5 is, I will write like this and it returns 120. And I defined, suppose this is 6, that means it will find the factorial and display. That means generally, in general, people who learn this type of programming, they know this through loops. In interview, they say that no, without loop, do it. Because what you learned is not interview. Right? Interview means they will not ask what you learned. They will ask obviously what you don't know. That means you learned that concept, but you don't know how to implement that. So that is what interview is all about. Means to check whether you can put this knowledge in this question or not. To answer that question, whether you can put this knowledge of what you have learned or not, that is important. So that is the reason generally what happens is the topics that you have learned, you have to know an alternative way for them. That means, is there any another technique for this? If you know those techniques, all the consequences, it's easy to handle interviews. Why? Because generally in interviews, they will not ask the common process. They will ask different alternative process. That means everybody knows that this is done with loops, but they will say no, without loop, how to do? Then you have to know this kind of techniques. This is called recursion. Here I am not actually same work to be done again and again. Then generally everybody write a loop for this. But this technique is not loop. This is recursion. Recursion means a function is called within the function again. This type of programming is called batch programming. For example, see, suppose we have, this is command prompt. To see the files list, I am using a command dir and it will display the files list. I want this files list to run 10 times. 10 times. Files list to run 10 times. Then I have to write 10 times dir like that. I want to run this 24 hours. I want to run this 24 hours. Then how many times I should write? Then what we do here is, see, I am writing simple. So job.bat. Okay. In this, I am writing dir. After that, I am using job and close. And you see, I written only 2 lines. What is the logic behind these 2 lines? First line is running dir. After running dir, it will run the file. That file will run dir again. Understood? That file will run dir again. Now see what happens when I type job and hit enter. It will run continuously until you stop. Until you stop. 24 hours or 10 days or 50 days or year. It will run continuously until you stop. This is batch programming. That means if anybody asks like, I want to run 10 times, you will say, I will write a loop. He will say, I want to run 1 hour. Then how? Now people start mathematics like, I written 10 times, it executed 1 second. Then for 1 hour, how many? That's all mathematics. People go into mathematics. That is completely baseless. We don't need that. That means if you have to handle, because these kind of tasks are very common. For example, do you know, I hope you have seen these kind of tasks regularly. Suppose there is a command called, you know, internet working or not, server is working or not, we use a command called ping, you know. So we use a command called ping and we will ping the server 127.0.0.1. And when you ping the server, it will see, so what is it? Ping, right? And you see, it will show this. Now what it is doing, so ping means it is running it, so continuously. So I just stopped that. So we will open that here. That means run ping. And you can see that it is executing this task repeatedly. And if disconnected, it will stop. Until disconnected, it will continue. It will continue, executes continuously. How much time? Until you stop it. These kind of programs are written by using this recursion technique. So we will discuss about recursion in the next level. Currently we are discussing about loops, and in loops, that means the frequently asked question is, what is difference between a loop and recursion? Loop and recursion. So this I will explain with example in the next level. Tomorrow we will do that. Okay. With example, we will see. First, we will understand what is a loop, then recursion, then difference you can identify, right? This we will see in next session. So with loops, we can design some more examples. We will try some more exercises in our JavaScript. Tomorrow we'll continue. Okay, right. Tomorrow on January 1st, we will have sessions, no holiday. Right. So tomorrow on January 1st continues, we will can have continuous session, no holiday. Right. Tomorrow will continue.